banks and the wealthy run the world. They do not care if you believe in communism or capitalism. The banks love it when people borrow a lot of money because that is how they make money. I get rich by borrowing money and using it to buy assets. Meanwhile, poor people borrow money and end up buying things that lose value, like expensive purses, cars, or even houses that keep draining their money. One lesson from Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that rich people do not work for money. They make money work for them. This idea goes back to 1971 when Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard and money became fake. That moment taught me to think about how to make money without having a lot of money in the first place. The trick is to create an asset. For example, I wrote a book, not because writing is easy, but because a book can become an asset. I can sell licenses for my book in many different languages and then collect royalties for many years. With that steady income, I can borrow more money and invest in real estate, using the tax benefits from depreciation to reduce my taxable income. Instead of investing in long-term stocks like most people, I choose to build my own assets. That is the way many entrepreneurs succeed. Not everyone can do it, of course, but I have made plenty of mistakes to learn how it works. And even my accountant, despite his quirks, agrees that creating assets is the key. You may wonder why people are always told to save money. The banking system, which has nothing to do with political ideologies, operates on a rule called the fractional reserve system. This system means that when you save a single dollar, the bank can lend out 10 times that amount. In effect, the money you save loses its value as the system multiplies it. They used to pay 10% interest on your savings, but now the best banks offer is around 1%, and they still lend out your money many times over. That is why saving money may actually make your dollar worth less over time. The banks keep getting richer, and then they tax you on the interest they pay. Meanwhile, if you borrow money, you don't pay taxes on the debt, and that is one of the reasons I use debt as a tool. For instance, after the market crash in 2000, I borrowed $300 million to invest in real estate. As interest rates dropped, my cost of money decreased too. Yet many people advise you to get out of debt without questioning the system that encourages you to work hard and save, even though the rules of fractional reserve banking make saving money a losing game. Passive income, like the kind you might earn from stocks, is usually taxed at a higher rate. When I receive passive income from the assets I build, it comes in a tax-friendly way. This is why I work with a team of experts, bookkeepers, accountants, attorneys, and bankers to manage my finances. Working alone, like many self-employed people, often means you pay the highest taxes and struggle to get ahead. Many individuals want a safe, secure job with benefits, a paycheck, and a pension. However, saving money in this system does not work because every dollar you save is slowly devalued by the bank's lending practices. I learned many of these lessons early in life. I was not good at school. I struggled with reading and writing and soon became bored with the traditional educational system. My poor academic performance led me to a very different kind of teacher, my best friend's father, who became my rich dad. He used games as teaching tools. We played chess and hours of Monopoly. In Monopoly, the secret to great wealth is simple. Own 4 greenhouses and 1 red hotel. Today, I own thousands of properties, both greenhouses and red hotels, because I took those lessons to heart. Games teach you about risk, strategy, and the value of assets in a way that no textbook can. I also learned that sales skills are essential. I was very shy when I returned from Vietnam and had trouble talking to people. My rich dad told me that to be successful, you have to be able to sell and handle rejection. In 1973, when I was 25, he asked about my personal life to show me that if I couldn't sell, I would never succeed. I went to work for Xerox in 1974, where I learned to sell effectively. Within a few years, I became the top salesperson, and today I am a best-selling author. Many experts say I cannot write, but I have learned that if you cannot sell, you will never make money. I started my business with nylon wallets. Initially, I struggled to sell them, but then I experienced sudden success. That success forced me to borrow more money, and eventually I discovered that overborrowing could be dangerous if the sales could not keep up with the growing debt. These experiences taught me that education is critical, and it is important to learn from your own mistakes rather than blindly following the advice of young financial experts who have never seen a market crash. Many of them only know a bull market where interest rates and bond rates kept dropping and stock prices kept rising, a period we now call the everything bubble. Be cautious of advice like keep the 60-40 portfolio, because such formulas worked well after 2008 but are less reliable today. The bond market is enormous, much larger than the stock market, and it plays a huge role in keeping the financial system afloat. I once said that savers are losers because saving dollars in a system that prints counterfeit money makes little sense. The rules of money are changing moment by moment, and the end of the old system seems near. We must question everything and understand that money is created through debt. When the government tells you to buy treasuries or maintain a fixed stock bond mix, remember that these ideas come from outdated models. Another problem is with pensions. My poor dad was proud of his government pension, but today, a pension might be the worst asset you hold because it is not guaranteed and has likely been diminished by Wall Street practices. I even call it "who stole my pension." The government often interferes with property rights. In Hawaii, for example, the government has become so controlling that property owners cannot fix their homes, and the ocean slowly erodes them away. I call Hawaii the People's Republic of Hawaii because of how government rules seem to take away individual rights. One of my best teachers, Mr. Fuller, who designed the geodesic dome, taught me a simple truth. When you drop a stone in water, it always makes ripples. No matter what you do, your actions have an effect. This idea, sometimes called precession, reminds us that small changes add up over time. It shows that even tiny efforts can create lasting impacts. We also see how technology embodies the idea of doing more with less. Today's cell phones are far more powerful than the early computers from 50 years ago. Despite our increasing power and technological advances, we have not grown as human beings. We have become more isolated and sometimes even hostile. Social media, for instance, often brings out the worst in people by encouraging antagonism. This teaches us that progress in one area does not always mean progress in our values or connections. That is why I believe it is important to focus on spirituality. Meditation, yoga, prayer, or attending church, whatever helps you find calm, peace, and balance, is essential in these trying times. Embracing spirituality can help ground you and bring clarity during challenging moments. I share these ideas because I believe education is the best defense against the dangerous changes in our world. We live in the most challenging period in history, and money is now created through debt. Understanding this and learning to see past the illusions of saving and the so-called safe investments is crucial. We must question the advice given by those who have never experienced a true market crash. I encourage you to educate yourself about how the financial system works and how to build your own assets. Knowledge empowers you to make better decisions and protect yourself from unexpected shifts. Investing time in learning can transform the way you handle money and life challenges. The more informed you are, the better you can navigate the uncertainties of our modern world. I have learned many lessons over the years by borrowing money, investing in real estate, and creating assets that generate long-term income. I have seen both the highs and the lows of the market, from the great bull markets to the painful crashes. I have also seen how outdated advice from people who never experienced real economic hardship can lead others astray. My approach has always been to work with a trusted team, to learn continuously, and to use my experiences as a guide. I urge you to do the same. If you enjoy learning about these ideas, please like and subscribe. Your support helps spread the word about making smart financial choices. In a world where the rules keep changing and the old ways no longer apply, staying informed and questioning everything is the only way to succeed. Remember, our future depends on our ability to adapt and to use knowledge as our greatest asset.